This week on Arizona Illustrated, LaRues, a Mexican food favorite, says goodbye to Tucson.
Well, they say they want to demolish it, June 1st. Part of me wants to get a keg with all my customers and sit across the street and just have a great old time.
Black history buff J.R. Harrison, the way he sees it.
Growing up around Caucasians in rural areas, like, Black history isn't on the to-do list. Black history is still something that, America probably should learn about. Black culture is huge.
And Seven Falls in Sabino Canyon.
It was fabulous. It was a good hike up and such a treat when we get up here to have water and shade. And I don't think it's ever been too cold.
Welcome to Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. For more than 30 years, the most common question at the beloved Tucson Mexican restaurant LaRues, other than "Can I take your order?" has been, "When are you closing?" The restaurant is located in the epicenter of the planned project to widen Broadway Boulevard. After 97 years, LaRues Fine Mexican Food closed its doors for the last time in early February. Now the question is, what's next?
We're never going to replicate this. That's what happens when you demolish buildings that have history. I can bring the artwork, but it's still not going to be the brick that kids have run their hands on and people have spilled the hot sauce all over and they're like trying to wipe it off before the server sees it. The windows, the chandeliers, the beams that everyone thinks are about to cave in, they're actually hollow. You can't replicate that anywhere. LaRues, we are open till 8 o'clock.
Is this hot mic?
Yeah.
LaRues was started in 1922 by the LaRues family. Tony LaRue was a banker. Lisa was his wife and can make some mean tamales. And they started down on 4th Avenue. And then in 1939, he bought the piece of property where we're at now and built it, and we've been open since '41. Hopefully selling the same great food. Tamales have always been the mainstay of LaRues. Christmas time and Easter, and just because you like them. We've known for our green corn tamales. Our beef are good. I'd like them a little spicier, but we can't kill the masses with spice. LaRues came into our family in 1961. My dad was an attorney, and I remember I was 6 years old at the dinner table, and my mom announced to my father that she had bought LaRues from Uncle Tony LaRue. We're not related, but officially, but everyone was related back then. And all I remember as a 6-year-old child is, "You did what?" So.
She bought this place out of the fact that she was bored at home. I mean, she was a chemist from the U of A, and then she just decided to be a house mom for a little bit. And she bought it when she was like, okay, I'm not going to stay in this home anymore.
I remember I came here for the first time and I was afraid to touch anything because I didn't know what ownership meant. I didn't know that it was ours, and I was working here for the rest of my life.
All my dad's friends from high school would come in and be like, "Hey, Miss Holquist, can I sweep the floor for a burrito?" And she was very open-hearted with people at her business, so she kind of made it easy for people to want to be here. She would cook at home Italian food because my great-grandfather was from Italy. So like a lot of the food here has like influences from an Italian heritage, but also her side of the family was from Guaymas, so it's like you got a lot of the Sonoran flair. That's why when people are like, it's different, I'm like, well, the roots started differently. The food wasn't, we're gonna make it how everybody else does it. It's like, we're gonna make it like we do at home.
I tried not to be in the family business, but I got sucked back in, and I was trying to be a pro golfer and didn't do very well, but had the best year of my life. It was a lot of fun. But my parents started becoming ill, and this is a hard business on your health. So I jumped in and was working more, and from about 21 on, I've been running LaRues.
Here it's like grandma's home. You come in and you respect the ladies, and they'd show you how to make tamales. And I knew I had a passion for food, but I never knew how much until I started spending more time here.
My son Mike started working and he started cooking a little bit, but he decided he wanted to go to culinary art school, and he did really well.
One's doing machaca, one's doing barbacoa. Here we go. Running restaurants in San Diego and working for different chefs in San Diego had no light. You learn a lot, but there's so many egos and there's so many of me's trying to get a job to just work a line. I came back here because, one, it's my dad and family, but two, it was a blank slate.
My side of the business is making sure that the lights are on and everyone gets paid, and pay my taxes and pay everything else and keep it going. And his side is cook and prep and prepare, and he's had some pretty wild dishes come out that were just absolutely famous. All his sauces are amazing. And we make everything here.
France and Italy and from Mexico.
Rita Reyes has been with us since '71. She was a young girl, and she buys all the corn. She's been with us 47 years. And Rosie's been with us 26 years. And if you take them all and add them up, I have a 26-year term of employment average. And the only thing I could say is that we take good care of them and they take good care of us.
How about machaca with avocado, or do you want to do carne seca?
Most of my customers are also my friends. They all know where to find me.
Carne seca is awesome.
Let's go with the carne seca.
I had a gentleman who had not been in Tucson for 35 years. Big guy. Came in the door, this is about a year ago. He comes in, sits in the corner, I go, I know you. And he goes, no you don't. I go, yeah, I remember you. You get 2 bean and cheese burros and an horchata every time. He goes, make it 3. Haven't been here in 35 years. I heard about Broadway Widening in 1983.
Driven across town on Broadway lately? Did you find the experience frustrating? You're not alone. That's why the city's transportation
I bought
department
the
spent the last
little house
year
next door, and I was told there was going to be some road widening. But I bought it anyway, knowing that we needed the space and the parking, and we were getting busier and busier. Well, 1987 came by and they announced that they were going to knock us down, widen the road. Big to-do, and nothing happened. More talk started happening in 97, and then nothing happened. 2007 came, big to-do, nothing happened. 2017, things did finally start happening, so it was 35 years of hope and hurry and wait. And now we have closure.
Well, they say they want to demolish it, June 1st. Part of me wants to get a keg with all my customers and sit across the street and just have a great old time. My staff wants to shackle their bodies to the building. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at it and swallow it. It's going to be part of my past.
My analogy is that they're paying us for our used car. Understandably, we've been here a long time. But I have to go buy a new car. And you're making me go buy a new car, or unless I go out of business. I just thought Broadway property in the city of Tucson would be worth more than what they paid me.
So now it's time for me to say, okay, well, what makes sense for the business? What makes sense for me? I want my dad to retire, but even though if I say, Dad, I'll give you money to retire, he'd probably still show up and sweep and bus tables and talk to customers. That's just who he is. In the last 2 weeks, I've seen more emotions from my customers. People just crying. This building means a lot to them. So, I've got people like, my car just automatically drives to you guys. I mean, that's pretty funny. I mean, you know, not bad for 97 years old, little 15-table taco shop that sells, you know, lobster tacos when the lobster's cheap enough to get it. We shine in our own light. I don't know what's next. There's a lot of people who are freaking out that we're not going to do something. But it's easier to say we don't have anything lined up or we may not reopen, because when I do reopen, if I reopen, it's going to spark another frenzy.
Tucson artist and history buff J.R. Harrison has his own take on the cultural icons and unique moments that make up some of Black history. And he expresses it through photographs that feature him.
Turn your head.
What is that, aloe vera?
No, it's lotion, so that way makeup goes on smoother.
It's burning my skin.
All right, now put your head all the way back and close your eyes like real softly so you don't have any creases.
I grew up in Huachuca City, Arizona. It's about an hour and a half south of Tucson. I didn't really communicate with many Black people. What is that thing?
It's a sponge to get the foundation on. Sorry.
I feel like it's a cat's tongue just licking my face.
No.
Yeah, everyone likes a cat's tongue though, really, huh?
Yeah.
Like everyone's like... Growing up around Caucasians in rural areas, like Black history isn't on the to-do list or to learn about list every day. Black history to me, I didn't learn until I went to college. I had a minor in Africana studies. Black history is still something that, you know, America probably should learn about. You know, Black culture is huge. Right now we're at Generation Cool, you know, one of America's premier 80s and 90s vintage pop culture boutique. Me and Slabby started it about 5 years ago. I remember it like it's yesterday. It all happened because me and actually Slabby had given me this White Men Can't Jump like shirt. And I had just gotten, they had just retroed the White Men Can't Jump David Robinson shoes. And I was like, man, this is cool. I had like an Ice Cube shirt. I had a Usain Bolt like track jersey. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna do a little Black history. 28 Days of Black History. And back then it was just, I would just show pictures of the outfits. I started realizing like, yo, people actually want to see me in it and like me make a fool of myself and make light of situations.
Yo, this is Jazzy Jeff. And how did I get my starter hat to look like this? The Jazzy Jeff breakdown. First you grab the hat, then you grip the hat.
This is history that you're not going to learn in textbooks.
Make sure it's a starter hat.
Yo, Professor, how does Mike defy gravity? Do you know?
That Spike Lee hat, that's probably one of the items that I had to go through extreme like connections. Having this shop helps me get these connections to get some of these costumes. I had to get those glasses too, which at the time was a lot of money. That was $279 for glasses to get those exact. Those are the exact ones that he wore, you know, exact model that Spike Lee wore in that picture. And that's, you know, I have to make it exactly like, you know, Spike Lee did it. Before I know it, I was like buying, you know, $500 outfits and stuff like that. It's very expensive, but it used to be very cheap.
Preparing JR for his Black History Month celebration tribute.
Does that look creepy enough?
I think it's really cool. It's fun. Something to look forward to every day throughout the month of February. When it ends, it's kind of sad.
Looks kind of fire.
He always provides some kind of like brief little history paragraph, you know, who the person was, what they did. It gives you a little bit of a lesson, but something to also kind of laugh about.
God, you look just like him. It's like insane.
Okay.
Yeah, you look just like him.
For it to be criteria for me, you have to be an influence in my life. 2 is like, can I get the costumes to make a great black cosplay type? Is that such a word, black cosplay? Why does it not look like Dennis that much? Is it more like a side angle that they're shooting at?
No, you look like him.
You think?
Yeah, on camera, you look like him. It's been like 2 to 3 years now that I've been helping him. The quality of it really stepped up, and so this year, like, we just had to keep raising the bar. I learned a lot about Black history, and just from being JR's friend, I've learned a lot about Black culture, past hip-hop, and past what we see day to day. JR looks ridiculous, but he pulls it off so well.
Dennis Rodman to me was very fun. He was always been an influence to me. He's the first basketball player to show individualism with his hair and his antics and his piercings and his tattoos. Like, let's be real, 1994 and 1990, that wasn't really something you've seen in the NBA at that time. Go back to the last one. I like that one. That's good. When I get into their uniform, you do transform into them somewhat. Yes, when I become Prince, I was like, and I walk the streets as Prince, I'm like, wow, if I'm walking the streets as Prince and everyone's loving me and like, man, that's great, man, you're Prince, and taking pictures with me, I was like, imagine what it was like to be Prince. I'm a little jealous sometimes. When I was Prince, I'm like, man, I should have been Prince. It's fun and informative. So I want you to look at it and I want you to be like, wow, that was fun. That's what I want you to think of it. And also, I want you to know about the actual person that we're depicting, because it is Black history.
Here in the Tucson Valley, we're fortunate to be surrounded by mountain ranges that include the Catalinas to the north, the Rincons to the east, the Santa Ritas to the south, and the Tucson Mountains to the west. On Bear Canyon Trail in the Catalinas, you'll discover a desert oasis known as Seven Falls.
Tucson's a beautiful place, really incredible here being down in the canyon, and you go up and down, and the views, the sky, the cactus all over along with the water is unbelievable.
I'm totally amazed in that there's water and creeks that you cross over and zigzag and not just dirt.
We'll take a quick tourist service announcement. Absolutely no alcohol, no alcohol.
Sabino Canyon offers people a way to get up into the canyon. They can access it by shuttle service, or they can walk or ride their bikes, running water most of the year. And then there's the trail into Seven Falls. It actually takes people into the wilderness. It's a much different experience. You don't see so many people. You're more apt to see wildlife. Beautiful surroundings. At many times of the year, there are different faces to these areas. So lots of opportunities, appeals to lots of interests.
Whenever there's a river or a lake, be able to go in is such a treat after getting hot and dusty on a hike. It is kind of a tradition for me, and I don't think it's ever been too cold. It's fabulous. It was a good hike up, and such a treat when we get up here to have water and shade and good picnic area.
This is my second time being here, and I love it. It's great. You can't go wrong with the weather. The hike is great. Just very enjoyable.
If you're planning to go, pack a lunch, relax, and just enjoy the atmosphere of the running water. It's a hit and miss on if a lot of people show up, so it's just dependent on peak seasons.
It's great. Great vistas, great geology. What more could you ask for? It's a geologic playground. My name is Chris Klingscales. I'm a PhD student at the University of Arizona. I'm studying geology in the geoscience department there, investigating regional tectonics and structural geology. Basically, how do mountain belts form? How do they evolve through time? And importantly, what are some of the active structures along the Earth's crust today? As you're crossing the creek, you'll notice the water, but also you'll see these amazing rocks. Looking at the rocks, it's like reading a book. The rocks themselves have all these hidden clues, and as you tune your eye into the rocks, you start realizing there's all this information about the evolution of the Catalinas, the evolution of this mountain range. Mountains themselves, they formed by this doming process. And so what happened is the roof basically was being transported and elevated up. And in that doming process, the rocks developed this banded architecture that you see throughout the region and throughout Bear Canyon. This is really cool. As you're coming up Bear Canyon, you'll see these big white bands that are cutting through the rock. And these big white bands, these are intrusions cutting through the host rock. The host is this blue-gray rock that you see throughout the Bear Canyon region. The white is predominantly feldspar minerals and quartz minerals that concentrate along these intrusions. You can walk along them. You can basically follow them like railroad tracks. And then you can see how they come up and they shoot up through the rock itself. Why is there this big valley right here? And it's really being controlled by these vertical fractures that are cutting through the basement rock. And you can see right by the main falls there, you can see the edge of these vertical fractures. And we call these vertical fractures, geologists call them joints. And so when you're out here, you know, you can think of the joints as really controlling the morphology of this canyon.
I remember the first time I went to Seven Falls, I was a Girl Scout. And it's a beautiful place. It's a good hike, it's a good workout as far as exercise goes. It's a strenuous enough hike that I don't want to go there often, so when I do go, I really, really enjoy the treasure that it is.
How are you doing? I need to come here, have friends, my fiance, we can come here and, you know, go swimming. And I'd like to go up higher into the waterfalls, maybe go explore a little higher, but you know, it's slippery up there.
I have never been to Seven Falls. I've been in Tucson for 20 years and it's my first time out here. It's absolutely beautiful, an oasis in the desert. The falls are incredible.
And now from our series Far Afield, we bring you David Bryan and the ensemble band Loveland performing their song X's for Eyes, recorded on location at Che's Lounge.
People only see the things they think they want to see. And I can't see a heartache when it's heading right for me. Thinking more of where I've been and where I'm going to. As I drive into a purple sky, it just makes me think of you. And I'm running away from you. It's crazy when out to get some coffee, but they're locked up for the night. And our weary friend, the well-fed, isn't anywhere in sight. 'Cause I'm running away from you. Sometimes now it feels like I've been living in a song, but I just can't find the words, and everything I do is wrong. Pile up all the plans we make and details we attend. It's still the unexpected one that gets us in the end. And I'm running away from you. I left the road this morning just to find the lucky one. So still at first I didn't see her sleeping in the sun. I knew she'd never come with me, I knew I'd never stay. And the best thing I could do for her was leave her.
Thank you for joining us here on Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. See you next week.